Hey, what are you guys doing out here?
It's Halloween. We've been trick-or-treating.
Are you alone?
There's a creepy man in a white mask,
Where?
and he keeps like trying to play hide and seek with us.
Where did you see him?
Look!
Run! Go home now!
And here we go.
It's the comic book bullies.
Man, you come right out of a comic book.
It's the comic book bullies.
You will bow down before me!
It's the comic book bullies.
Now I am the master.
It's the comic book bullies. It's the comic book bullies. Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies with Nerd's New Bully. I'm your host Leroy, aka the Boogie Oogie Woogie Man, with my co-hosts.
Damn it, I was going to say that. Okay, this is Eli, aka Mr. Sandman.
That works. It was like we're joined at the hip or mine or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, we're back with another episode, and yeah, we're just gonna jump right into it. We actually got a full packed episode because we got a bunch of stuff we gotta talk about.
The show
Yeah,
thick.
girthy, moist. I don't think it goes here. But
Elongated.
we just got banned anyway. But yeah, we just want to start off with something real quick. We're gonna just jump into, like I said, we're gonna talk about the Halloween Kills review, which is a lot of people talking about on Twitter. But before we get into it, I want to just briefly talk about Michael Caine. Yes, the great Michael Caine. He's not dead, still alive, but people were saying that he was retiring. So the funny thing is, all the reports saying he retiring after he does whatever movie he's going to do, it's going to be his last movie. But turns out, if you check his Twitter page, he posted, "I'm not retiring." Like Wolf of Wall Street. I'm not going fucking anywhere. That's him. So yeah. So shout out to Michael Caine. Hope he keeps making movies. Like I said, the Christopher Nolan ain't going nowhere. He ain't going anywhere because he's in every one of his damn movies. That being said, now we can move on to the next part of the podcast. Like I said, we always start, even though it's a comic book podcast, we always lead in with the movies. Why? Because that's what everybody cares about. Everything else we do is pop culture. Everything else we do is just secondary. So we're just gonna jump into it. So
Our ear to the ground on the spine of the America. I don't know.
I guess not really, but I guess
What the kids are into. We try to
Yeah.
stay in tune with with today's youth. I don't know. I don't know if that sounds creepy or not, but
Yeah, keep an ear to the street, stuff like that. So,
yeah.
all right. So, like I said, we're gonna start with the box office number. So, Eli, give it to me. What is the number one movie of the week? I'll give you a hint. Not a Disney movie.
Halloween.
It is Halloween. Halloween Kills is the number one movie of the week. That's the movie everybody's checking out, which is honestly, Eli, kind of not that it was number one, but it was so high at number one that shocked me. I'm thinking like reason it shocked me because, like I said, I watched it on Peacock TV. I'm pretty sure you went to the theaters to watch it.
No, I saw it on Peacock too.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay. So you saw it on Peacock. I saw it on Peacock. But the funny thing is, anytime a new movie comes out on my timeline, I like to see people, sail the seven seas with Jack Sparrow, and they're always putting out links. Oh, you can watch it on Fire Stick this, and you can watch it on that, you can watch it on this link here. And then I was just like, why are y'all bootlegging this movie? It's on Peacock. You just watch it. Are y'all so desperate? Y'all don't even bother to look for it. The stuff is free. So that was my timeline the whole time. And I was just perplexed the whole time about that. Like, this doesn't make any sense, but whatever. We'll just go with it. So, like I said, we both watched the movie, but I'm going to let you talk about it because I'm pretty sure you're going to dig in deep and give us all kind of, Easter eggs and stuff we missed and did you knows and all stuff like that. So, yeah, give it to me. What
we're not going to go through the countdown.
I mean, we could. Let's see. We can go through the countdown. Let's see. I mean, it's really nothing much to talk about. I mean, we got No Time to Die, James Bond. I'm gonna just briefly look at where it's at right now. 447, not bad, decent. It barely cracked 100 million in 2 weeks in America, which is not decent. Right, bad. Yeah, Venom, Let There Be Carnage. This bullshit. It's still there, number 3, still hanging in there. Addams Family 2, and The Last Duel. Here's the thing about The Last Duel. Jamie Lee Curtis actually made a post like, "Don't feel bad about them," but that's pretty bad, Eli. 4 million for a debut movie with like everybody in it.
Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott is director. I mean, damn, like nobody cared. And it's not like it's on Peacock. Like you can watch Halloween Kills at home. People still went to go see the movie. You can't watch The Last Duel anywhere else but the theaters. People still didn't want to watch it. Like, damn. So, it's weird. Shang-Chi Legend of 10 Rings drops on Disney Plus next week. Black Widow dropped on Disney Plus, I think, last week. I watched it, fell asleep on it. I was like, whatever. And the rest of the stuff, I don't even know what the hell this is. But yeah, that's what we got going on right now. So shout out to those movies. So like I said, we got a chance to watch Halloween. Eli, I'm gonna just give you a chance to just talk about it, see what you thought about it, and break down the Easter eggs and what else we got going on with Halloween Kills.
Okie dokie then. Well, yes, Halloween Kills, the sequel to the reboot of. I'm not going to get into the discombobulated timelines of the Halloween franchise. So Halloween Kills. I liked it, but I didn't love it.
Okay.
I thought it was okay. I had a good time with it for the most part. I thought it had pretty cool kill scenes, plenty of gore. Michael Myers was brutal, murking a lot. Yeah, a lot of kill scenes. So that kept me entertained. John Carpenter back on the soundtrack. Doing some brand new musical scores. Sounded cool. Some of those synth throwback to what he did on like Escape from New York and like Big Trouble in Little China. You definitely heard the John Carpenter sound. I liked for the most part I liked it. My only disappointment was I wanted Laurie Strode to do more. I was
right, because she was a big part of the last movie.
Yeah, she was pretty much my favorite part of the last movie, and the idea of her being like, this badass, Sarah Connor Ripley character was intriguing. That's what I liked about the last movie. And I was really looking forward to that in this movie. And she was sort of sidelined. And that's was a little, my big takeaway from that was like, damn, I wish she would have gotten there and whipped some ass. Cause I was waiting for that.
Right.
Easter eggs were there, I guess. I've watched Halloween 1,000 times, so I knew the different characters, Lonnie and Tommy Doyle and Lindsay. You know what? I did not know that the girl who played Lindsay in the original Halloween, she's now a Real Housewife of wherever the fuck of Bougieville or whatever.
Okay, so she's still celebrity, big name or something.
Yeah, and she was in it. She was in this. So I mean, it went towards. It really went into the lore, I guess, of Haddonfield and Halloween, which I sure. I didn't give too much. I didn't give a shit about really. I was more into the kills and just wanted Michael Myers just slashing folk, which I got plenty of. And the kills were brutal. They pretty much turned Michael Myers into Jason Voorhees. He was crushing heads and just using very creative ways to kill people.
Isn't that what he always did, though?
He was more of just a kind of a stabby guy. In the original, he barely does anything. He strangles some people.
Didn't get too creative with it.
The original Halloween movie isn't very bloody. It's more about tension and suspense.
But in these new movies, he's like an artiste.
Yeah, and this one, and that's where of course, Friday the 13th was a Halloween ripoff. It's okay, we want to do Halloween, only this time we're going to show the kills. We're going to show the blood and gore, and that was the trademark of Friday the 13th. Whereas Halloween and Michael Myers was more of a exercise in tension, in terror and creating suspense and atmosphere. And I dug that. I liked the feel for it. I thought those flashback scenes were pretty cool. I thought they nailed the look of that. Whoever they got to play Loomis, I don't know if that was an actor or if they
Oh, that was definitely
CGI'd
CGI. That's
or
that like on
the deep
Star
fake shit.
Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, it's Loomis. You know, I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, so I enjoyed it. I just wanted more. I wanted the lynch mob. I wanted that. I basically wanted Predator. You know what I mean? I thought this movie was going to be about the town going after him and him just taking him out like Predator or Alien, like them
Right.
hunting and they had a little bit of that, but then they also kind of veered off into other directions, like the whole thing at the hospital, and they killed the wrong guy, or they're after the wrong guy. And I did get January 6th vibes from that,
Mob mentality. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, but the weak attempt at political commentary, I didn't give a shit. And the drama, the whole, the soap opera stuff about, the different characters and how the sheriff was young, and I didn't give a shit about any of that. I just wanted the kills. I was hoping for, a stock, like, let's hunt down Michael Myers, and Michael Myers kills everybody in the process. The ending, spoilers, when he like John Wicked everybody,
Right.
that was dope. But that's what I was hoping for the whole movie. I was just hoping the whole movie was going to be that, like them hunting for him and him just taking him out, Rambo style.
Right.
That's what I was kind of thinking this was going to be, and it wasn't. So that I found disappointing. But for the most part, solid kills, solid gore. Jason, I mean, Michael turning into Jason, I like that they're sticking with the theme of, the idea, John Carpenter's original idea, that Michael Myers is just this force of evil, that
And
evil never,
they even call him the boogeyman.
yeah, that evil never dies. And that idea, I like that, instead of the sequels where he's the cult of the pumpkin or whatever the fuck they did in the sequels, or like in Rob Zombie's shitty movies where he's, his dad was a dick and his mom was a stripper and the poor little white boy didn't get to go trick-or-treating, so now he's evil incarnate. Fuck all that shit. I didn't care about any of that. I like that she's just this force, just evil force, unstoppable evil force, the Shape. And that's what they brought this back to. And I liked all that. I just wanted to see Laurie kick some ass, because that's what I was looking forward to. So, yeah. So I guess for me, 3.5 out of 5. It was cool. It was a little lacking, I thought. I wanted some more. So
Cool. So you want me to talk about it, or you kind of nailed it?
well, what did you think? Did you like it?
What did I think? Okay,
Yeah.
let me remove this because I have to be okay. I'll be honest with you. I thought the movie sucked. That's just me. I did. I thought the movie sucked. Here's the thing, because I think we were looking at it two different ways. Like I said, if you're looking, you got to look at this movie two different ways. If you're looking for it just as a horror movie, and you just want to see Michael Myers just chop a bunch of people, and you want to get a YouTube clip of just him just massacring people left and right, the movie gives you that. The movie delivers on that aspect. Creative, clear. Like I said, he's not Michael Myers. He's Michelangelo. He is an artiste with these kills. He is creative with them. I was like, okay, that's creative. And he's not discriminating, like in this cancel culture where, oh, you can't talk about this, you can't kill this person, you can't kill a person. He's equal opportunity. Doesn't care. Kill anybody. Kills everybody. Even if you like, maybe you shouldn't kill them, he doesn't care. Kills them. I like all that stuff. That is cool. However, there's nothing else to the movie. It's just kills and it's it. Like you said, the stuff about the mob mentality, social commentary, it just felt kind of just tacked on, just kind of thrown in because they don't have any meat on this movie, so they got to find something to kind of like pad the movie out with. Same thing with Jamie Lee Curtis. She was, to me, the best part of the last movie because the whole movie was about a survivor victim story and how she's going to take back the power. This, she's just there narrating about how evil and how powerful he is and just whatever. She doesn't really do anything. I don't care about any of, but it's a horror movie, so you're not supposed to care about any of the people he killed. That's the whole point. The cannon fodder, just to get chopped up. And that's the thing. The movie just felt like it was unnecessary. It felt like it was just padding time out for the next movie because whole thing's gonna be a trilogy.
Yeah.
Next gonna be Halloween Kills, supposed to be the big final climax. Where this just felt like padding out time and just milk this as much as possible. with just a bunch of no Michael Myers kills. So honestly, I felt like the movie was kind of like a waste of time. It was just there, not my thing. And I like the last movie. I like the last movie a lot. That's why I was kind of, I think, more excited for this than I should have been. But when I saw this, I was like, oh, it just felt like a cash grab. Let's
Yeah,
just crank out another Halloween movie because it'll make
yeah,
money, which it did. So
yeah. I thought I agree about making it like episodic. Like this isn't a
mhm,
TV show. You know what I
right.
mean? Like, oh, that's gonna happen in the next. The Laurie Michael Myers battles happening in the next movie, and I was like,
Right. We don't want to see Halloween in game. We don't want to see
yeah,
that.
I'm not this. Don't, this isn't the MCU. Like, this isn't a TV show. Give me the shit now. You know,
Right.
um, I didn't care about like the drama, and I think s- so much like, and we're gonna talk about Scream in a little bit, but Scream kind of emphasized that the drama, the characters, and why fucking Dewey and Gale Weathers are still alive in those motherfuckers. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, you know, and so they emphasized on like the characters and the drama and the, you know, the soap opera aspect, you know, and less on the slasher, because Ghostface is just any whoever douchebag decides to put the mask on.
Right.
And that's what I felt like they were trying to do with this. Like, let's build up the lore of Haddonfield and these characters of Haddonfield and all that shit. And I just didn't give a shit about any of that. I just, like I said, I wanted a horror. I wanted a straight up horror flick. Um, yeah, I didn't care about the sheriff and the guilt that he felt and all this crap. And you know, I just didn't care. You know, so
Like I said, it was a waste of time movie for me. I'm gonna give it a 2.5 out of 5. It's whatever, but yeah, I guess hopefully the next one be good. You know,
yeah. I
but
mean,
maybe they're saving all this stuff for the next movie anyway.
and that's what I hate. That's what I hate about, like, don't, quit trying to bite off Marvel. You know, quit trying to set up stuff. Just give it to me, because that's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for that battle. Oh, well, you got to wait for nothing. No, I already waited for it.
Right.
You
But
know,
here's the thing. Here's the thing. The last movie, it said everything it needed to say. I feel like with this franchise, even with the final battle between Laurie and Michael Myers, when she was the victim in that movie, she became the hunter. I mean, where else can you go with that story? I felt like that was the final conflict they needed to have. Anything after this, kind of like just padding out time. You're just like,
yeah,
oh, he's
like,
back. You
then
know.
turn it into Aliens, making an action move, action horror. The town people form a lynch mob and they go after them and they just get murked. And that's what this was supposed to be, but it didn't give what I wanted from it, you know.
And then the comedy kind of like throws the movie off too. You don't know whether to take it seriously. Times it kind of felt like a parody almost at times. I'm just like, I
Yeah,
don't
you
know
can
what to think about this movie, you know.
definitely see the Danny McBride
Right.
writing
Yeah,
it.
definitely some comedy writers behind this, but yeah,
Yeah,
but
but I do think it's better than most of the sequels, the other Halloween
I
sequels.
mean, is
Because
that
like I
saying
said,
much? Just I mean, all I like is the
the
first one and the
the
Busta Rhymes one. That's about it, you know.
oh, I don't like the Busta Rhymes one either.
I mean, compared to the other one, that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, most of the Halloween franchise does suck, so I like these more than those. But yeah, I was a little disappointed in this, you know. So yeah,
I don't
what
know.
are you gonna
Oh well.
do?
All right. I don't know.
I
For
do.
some
I
reason,
mean,
I thought you were gonna
I
like.
like that. You know, I like the atmosphere. I like that
Yeah.
Carpenter was behind it and shit. Yeah,
Yeah, honestly, Eli, I thought you were gonna come
suck this
in,
movie's
love this
dick.
movie. Yeah, I thought you were gonna defend it. You know, to die on the hill with this,
Oh no,
attack
no,
anybody commenting on this. Well, fuck you and fuck you,
no.
Nico. You know,
This is very divisive. It's real, especially because I follow like the horror community and, you know, Bloody Disgusting and Fangoria sites, and
yeah,
it's very divisive amongst fans as
yeah.
well.
I
Like
haven't checked any chatter on this or
yeah,
looked on social media what they're saying. I was just,
some
but
people love it, like, oh my god, I loved it, and this is going to be a trilogy, and you got to wait to the next one. It's like, nah, you know. And then there's some people are like, this movie sucks, and
yeah.
I love the, you know, they actually do, like, you know, Return of Michael Myers and Curse of Michael Myers and all those shitty
But that's the thing.
sequels
No
of,
matter how
you
shitty
know,
a movie is, there are always fans of any
yeah,
movie. It doesn't matter.
yeah.
So,
That's the funny
uh,
thing about horror. Horror is a weird community, you know. As far as the fans goes, like horror, like good horror movies become like classics, and shitty horror movies become like cult favorites. Like they even like shitty horror movies. You know what I mean? To a horror fan, there's really no such thing as a shitty horror movie. And if there's a shitty horror movie, you can at least laugh at it and be entertained.
One
So
of my
it's like
favorite Jason movies is Jason X. I'm sorry, I don't care. I
Yeah.
love that movie.
It is.
It's a
Jason X
shitty,
is
it's a
great.
shitty movie. It's a shitty movie, but I love it. It's the thing.
Yeah. Like the good, like, you know, great horror flicks like The Exorcist and The Shining and Halloween are classics. Texas Chainsaw classics. But Frankenhooker, a
Right.
total piece of shit, but goddamn, is it hilarious and awesome, you know?
I mean, because at the same time,
And
this
that's
is
kind of
born
how
from the
horror fans are.
exploitation
And I think
movies, you know.
there's some, you
Yeah.
know,
It's kind of like porn,
Yeah.
for instance. I hope we don't get banned for
um,
it, but yeah, like porn. Like you look at porn, you don't care about the storyline, you don't care about the acting, you know, and the setup and light and stuff like that. And it's
yeah,
kind of like horror movies also give me what I want. That's why I think people do like this movie. And I kind of knew this movie would have fans because as far as what you expect, you want gore, you want blood, you want stabbing and killings. This movie gives it to you. I don't remember seeing a slasher movie just going nuts like Michael Myers has in other movies. So if that's what you're looking for,
yeah,
it delivers. Everything else,
yeah,
not really. But
yeah.
but like I
The
said,
kills are
it's
pretty
gore
cool. The
porn.
gore
That's
was
what it
pretty
is.
cool.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I mean, it was there. Michael Myers was being Michael Myers. He looked cool. He was doing cool shit. He was doing what he does, what we wanted him to see. It's just the story built around him kind of sucked and was a little lacking for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was disappointed. I enjoyed the kills. I enjoyed the atmosphere. It's cool, like how I feel about Star Wars. Sometimes it's just nice to see those sights and sounds that you're a fan of, and to see it again. And in that aspect, yes, it delivered. But did it give me that that dramatic weight that I wanted? That battle? Because I was really into badass Laurie Strode. I really wanted to see her like whip some ass, and she was kind of sidelined. And I see people defend, oh, well, she's an old lady and she's in the hospital and blah blah blah.
Well,
I don't give
she
a
was
shit.
whooping ass that last movie. She
I don't give a shit about you don't apply the logic. No, make her a badass. Have her, super glue her fucking torso up and let's go, motherfucker. That's what I want.
nobody said that same shit when Sylvester Stallone was doing it in Rambo 5 or 6 or whatever the hell that shit
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
So yeah, same thing
Yeah,
with this one. Like
throw some,
like I said,
cauterize a wound with a gunshot. Well, yeah,
right, it's just keep going. Like in the middle of a
let's go.
gunfight, he didn't care. Shit.
Yeah,
Why should it be any different
yeah.
from her?
If
But
Michael Myers can get shot up and beaten and not die, like let Laurie do the same shit. Let her Chow Yun Fat the shit out of him.
right, female Wolverine, whatever the fuck she's gonna be.
Yeah, that's what I was
cocking a
waiting
shotgun
for.
with one arm and shit going.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was waiting for. I was so looking forward to that, and I didn't get that, and that's my biggest takeaway from it. Was like, damn, I wanted badass Laurie Strode. So
Oh,
yeah.
all right. So let's move on. I'm gonna give you another movie. I'm gonna give you another movie. This one. Oh no, I'm scrolling down too much. There we go. We're gonna do this one, Slumber
Okay.
Party Massacre, the remake.
The reboot, yes. Yeah, Syfy. Let's see. I have an image. Get that up there. Kind of small, but oh well. So yeah, so Sci-Fi Channel, they did a reboot. It aired on Sci-Fi. Of a Slumber Party Massacre, 1982, another iconic slasher flick from the 80s that also became a franchise. The first two are awesome. I will admit I love the Slumber Party Massacre 2. Third one kind of sucks. But the first two are awesome. They're very woke. These were directed by women back in the 80s, early 80s, 82, 85, I think is when they were the first two came out. Produced by Roger Corman, who, Roger Corman built his career on making cheap B movies, monster movies, flying saucer movies, horror movies. And he produced this, and he let the women kind of do what they wanted. But then he also said, well, it's a horror movie. We got to have blood. We have to have boobs in it. So he basically requested, hey, you got to have some tits in this movie.
Oh, I also want to say about Roger Corman, in the 90s, he made a Fantastic Four movie that nobody saw and stuck it in the shelf.
Yeah.
So you can find it on YouTube somewhere, but yeah.
Because the budget was like $500.
Right. And he just made it just so they keep the rights. That's the only reason he made the movie. But it exists. Nobody's seen it. But yeah.
So this Slumber Party Massacre is a very feminist take on the slasher genre. Very a lot of symbolism. You know, the guy with the drill. He's a driller killer. The drill is a very phallic symbol. At the end of the movie, the woman takes a machete and chops it off. It's very symbolic of him being castrated. You know, women empowerment. That's what those Slumber Party Massacre movies did back in the 80s. And this is a reboot of that. And this is like a parody. The reboot is very much a parody. It very much pokes fun at all the horror tropes of slasher movies, like the same way Scream did.
I was saying, it just sound like Scream, but yeah.
Deconstructed the slasher genre and kind of pokes fun at everything. There's a lot of symbolism in the movie. There's a scene where dudes have a pillow. Well, not a pillow fight. It's hilarious. The movie's hilarious. I was laughing my ass off. These dudes, they're like camping. They have a cabin and they're like trying to rip. They're trying to test how tough they are and ripping pillows apart. You know, like when you could rip a phone book apart, but they're trying to do it with pillows.
Okay.
And then they finally rip the pillow. One dude finally rips it apart. And they're like, yeah. And they're all like jumping around, like being all macho, like, yeah, with their shirts off. And then it's like, it goes in slow motion.
Okay. Like homoerotic type. And
yeah, the shirtless dudes like having a pillow fight. Like, you know, like usually it's women having pillow fights in their pajamas or in underwear. And it was like really cheesy.
Did they have a pillow fight in Slumber Party 1?
I believe they did. Yeah.
Okay. So it was kind of like a play on that.
And of course they're topless. Yes.
Well, of course they are.
There's a scene where the killer is chasing the girl, and she has a can of, is it clam chowder? A can of soup. It's clam chowder, and then he tries to drill, and like she uses the can of soup of the can of clam chowder to block the drill bit, and of course it drills into the can of soup, and the soup, it's clam chowder, it sprays all over the place, and then the killer gets clam chowder sprayed all over his face. That was very symbolic and hilarious.
Right.
Clam chowder getting sprayed. He got a facial of clam chowder. So yeah, it made fun of the slasher genre, and it was funny, and it had plenty of gore and plenty of cool kill scenes. Did I like this better than Halloween? I might have liked this better than the Halloween.
I mean, it sounded like you did. It sounded like you got excited for this movie. Halloween was just like whatever.
Yeah. It was fun. Yeah, I go check it out. It was on Syfy, Syfy on demand or whatever, the Syfy app. So yeah, 4 out of 5. It was a lot of fun, gory, and funny. So yeah.
Cool. Okay. Let me see. Now we're gonna go to TV. Maybe they're sticking with the horror movie theme. You know, we're gonna talk about Chucky. And like I said, I didn't see this. I remember you talking about it. Didn't know it was out yet, or maybe I thought it was already out. But what is like a pilot episode or a movie?
It's a TV series.
Okay.
The Chucky TV series, produced by the guy who created the character, Don Mancini. He created Chucky, or wrote the original scripts, and then directed some of the sequels. So yeah, this is Syfy Channel's. Syfy Channel just putting out some cool horror shit this week. The episode 1 dropped the other day. I watched it and I liked it. This kid, he's like a bullied teenager. He's got an asshole for a dad. He's also gay. He's being bullied. His dad is kind of neglecting him, kind of being a dick to him. He's a reject, kind of an outcast, and he acquires this Chucky doll, and Chucky starts being Chucky, starts, kind of helping him out with his life, like killing his dad and, fucking with his bullies and shit.
So Chucky's kind of like the hero of this story, kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of, that total revenge fantasy,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I enjoyed it. I dug on it, yeah, it is a TV series. It was like 45 minutes, like the episode I watched. So, and there was swearing, there was kills, there was blood. So it was cool. I dug on it. So if you're into Chucky, yeah. If you're a Chucky fan, check it out.
Now, how long are the episodes? Like 30 minutes?
It was 45 minutes. I think it's probably an hour with commercials if you watch it
with
on live
everything.
TV,
Okay.
but it was like 45 minutes. Yeah, it goes back into some of the lore. I don't know how familiar you are with the Chucky franchise, but it goes into the town and who Charles Lee Way was in that town. This is going deep into the lore of Child's Play and who Charles Lee Ray was, because he was a serial killer. For those who don't know who Chucky is, he is the soul of a serial killer who used voodoo or some kind of magic to put his soul into the doll.
Right, because
And
he was white, but he learned voodoo from Haitians, Jamaicans,
yeah,
or something. Yeah,
yeah. And the longer he can stay in the doll, the more like he becomes flesh. But in one of the movies, I believe it's Cult of Chucky, he knows off the internet, because it's totally campy and stupid. He learned another ritual that now he can put himself into multiple dolls so that he can be a literal cult of Chucky. So there's multiple Chuckies running around in that
and
movie.
they all so like Ultron, so they like all share the same brain and stuff, and
Basically, yeah.
Age of Chucky. Okay,
Yeah, Age of Chucky, yes. Yeah, so it was cool. It was a lot of fun. I like the atmosphere. It's like it takes place in the fall. I like that yellow orangish hue that the film looked like. It looked like autumn and stuff. So it's a total like Halloween season show to watch. So I dug on it. I look forward. I'm gonna watch the next episode. So way better than Why the Last Man.
Oh, I meant to take. Have you heard?
I did hear.
Yeah. Okay. They canceled that shit. I'm so glad, man. I was like,
I only watched like 4 episodes before I gave up. I gave it like 4 episodes before I'm like, I'm just not into this.
I'm on episode 5 because I got bored. I was at home one day. I was like, let's just knock out the rest of these episodes. I got nothing else to do. I watch. I like this shit. This shit is so boring. It was a lot of times I was just kind of like just nodding off and just kind of like zoning out, painting just stuff. Like, let me rewind and see if I missed anything. Nope, didn't miss anything. Nothing happens on that show. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad they canceled that shit. I heard. I haven't read the comic. Heard it's a great comic. Don't give a shit about that show. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have read the comic and I was like still bummed.
Right. I'm like,
shit.
what is this bullshit? But anyway, yeah. So that's our recommendation for Why the Last Man. Don't watch that bullshit. Don't even bother.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna throw one more your way, Eli. Let's see.
We're just bumping it out, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
I got an image for that too. I came prepared. I did my homework today.
I see.
Yeah,
I
except
thought you were
take
gonna
notes
freestyle.
on my comics. I should have took notes on my comics, but I did not. So
All right.
So did you watch it? They dropped the Scream trailer.
I didn't.
The new Oh, you didn't? Really? I
Figured
thought this was your shit, man. I
the
thought
whole
Scream
movies.
was your thing.
But I don't need another one of these. I feel like they said everything they need to say, you know. So, but I did. I liked all of it. I even liked 4, but I just don't see why another one. Why? But
Yeah. Yeah, so they dropped the Scream trailer. It is another Scream movie. Ghostface running around, terrorizing Sidney Prescott. Dewey is still alive. Gail Weathers, who's a total
he'll
garbage
get chopped
person.
up again. He'll come
Yeah.
back, but yeah.
They'll get stabbed and then they'll be alive at the end.
With no
they're
explanation.
still alive.
But yeah.
We'll see what they do. The thing about the Scream movies is these are straight up parodies. These are
Right.
satire. They are totally making fun of horror and the horror conventions.
But here's the thing why I like about the movie. They don't just make fun of horror. They make fun of like movie tropes. Like Scream 2 was a parody of sequels. You know how sequels just bloodier, bigger, badder. The Scream 3 was a parody of trilogies. You know, they always like whatever happened in the third movie. And the fourth movie was a parody of reboots. That I think I like that one probably like maybe my second favorite one, you know. Especially the in line when Sidney Prescott said to the killer, she like, you forgot the one rule of remakes. Don't fuck with the original.
Fuck with the original. Yeah.
And it chopped the head off. I was like, oh shit, okay. But yeah, but I don't know what they're gonna do with this one, especially since Wes Craven's gone, man. You know, he wrote these movies. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I have a turbulent relationship. Well, not turbulent, but I really like the first one. I recently watched them all. You know, just to, refresh. I like the first one. First one's classic, especially the first time seeing it. I laughed my ass off. But then it just became this big, huge thing. And that's the thing is it is a parody. It is making fun of horror movies, but then it inspired a whole slew of shitty horror movies. Now I
That is
know there's
true.
I know there's a lot of fans from the 90s who love all that shit, but I felt Scream kind of ruined horror for the 90s. Here I got that image to share. Let's see.
Oh,
Is
my
it on
fault. I
there?
didn't see it. Yeah. Hold on.
So, I felt, Scream emphasized the soap opera, the teenage soap opera. You know what I'm saying? It was less about the kills and the slasher and more about the relationship of the characters. So then after that, you had all these movies that kind of where the pretty teenagers where the drama was the forefront, and that's what I couldn't stand. It was more about it was more like an episode of 90210. So me coming from the 80s, coming from watching all the horror movies of the 80s, movies like this, Friday the 13th, check out that poster. Then look, blood and hockey knife, blood and shit. Halloween, there you go. These are the movie posters of the 80s. Brutal, gory. You're watching a horror movie. You know what I'm saying?
The Howling.
But then, but then you get to the 90s with Scream, and then here's the movie posters for the 90s horror movies. Here, Scream.
Now,
What you did last summer.
I don't even remember
See
that
that?
one, but Urban
Yeah,
Legend.
it's pretty teenagers.
Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Because I think what the studio learned, what they didn't learn in the 80s, is that these horror movies can be starring vehicles for those actors. Like, think about those actors we're naming about. Jennifer Love Hewitt, the chick from Dawson's Creek. All these movies were like, let's put these people in movies so we can.
Is that Jared Leto up here? There's Jared Leto right up there.
Is he? He's so generic. He's like a created character for me, just on a video game. But yeah, that's the thing. They just try to use these as star vehicles because they didn't think about that in the 80s. But those movies end up being star vehicles. People, Kevin Bacon, Johnny Depp. We can just every time you watch one of the whole horror
Tom
movies,
Hanks. Tom Hanks was in. Yeah,
you watch an old 80s horror movie, you're like, oh shit, he was in that. But in the 90s, they want you to know Sarah Michelle Gellar was in this movie and Ryan Phillippe and whoever the fuck else, So that was the difference. They try to promote them more than actual killer, like Urban Legend. Who the fuck was the killer in that movie? I don't know.
I don't remember.
It didn't even matter.
But yeah, but that's what it was. It was geared for, like a teenage audience and sort of really highlighting the soap opera. You know what I mean? Like you're watching it's like basically an episode of Gossip Girl with some lame generic kills with hardly any gore. That's what most of those movies were.
Yeah. I can't talk shit because I was a teenager, so I didn't mind, watching Jennifer Love Hewitt bounce up and down the street, in a tight sweater,
Yeah, the best part of the movie. Yeah.
They're right. And I don't remember the killer of that movie either, but hey, they made like 3 or 4 of them, so whatever,
Yeah, and I think that's and that's the thing is the Scream movies were parodies. They were meant to like what you said, every sequel was a parody of whatever. And I liked the third one. Yeah, the third and the fourth one are the better ones to me.
Honestly, I'm surprised the third one hadn't made like a resurgence because the third one goes there. It talks about topics that were like super hot like a couple years ago, like the whole Me Too movement. It was a whole Me Too movie, the whole cast and couch thing, and it was made by Miramax, who was owned by Harvey Weinstein at the time.
He's on the bill, like he's produced that.
Right, he produced the movie. He basically produced a movie about him.
Yeah, and movie and there was a producer that was it Sidney Prescott's mom was an actress back before she married her dad or whatever.
Right, on the casting couch, stuff like that,
And he the third one's great. I do like the third because it is straight up funny. It is straight up parody. It's a movie about a movie, or where they're making a movie about the movie. It's like a parody of a parody of a parody. It's just straight up farce, and it's funny. Like Jay and Silent Bob are in that fucking movie, so you just have to laugh at it. And that's what the Scream movies are. They're just meant to be laughed at, And it's just funny that it just, like what I said, it inspired all this mediocre crap that they didn't get it. That Hollywood just put out all this crap that Scream was making fun of. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my issue with Scream. But like, I love the first movie. The first time watching it, I had a blast. I will say I hated the second one, and on the recent watch, I still think the second one sucks. I mean, other than the first scene, you know, that kind of strikes a chord now, with especially in the Black Lives Matter era.
It struck a chord then.
Yeah,
I mean, when I watched the
yeah,
movie,
yeah,
I went and got popcorn, came back. I'm like, they already killed the black people? Damn.
yeah. Well, Jada Pinkett Smith being murdered in front of everybody where they don't give a shit. That
Right.
kind of strikes a chord nowadays. I'm just saying, watching that. But the rest of that movie sucks. I don't even know who the killer was in that one. But like the third one and the fourth one, those are straight up satire, and they're
Right.
funny, and and yeah. So, and I love Sidney Prescott's character. I love that she breaks all the rules of the final girl, of, she has sex and still survives. Like, she breaks all the rules and still comes out on top. That's what I love about it. And that's what I wanted from Halloween Kills. I wanted Laurie to. Sidney Prescott throws down. She's never cowering. She's always throwing down and fighting back. And that's what I liked about her. And so yeah, that's what I dug about, her character, is that she is just brutal and was willing to fight, and she breaks all the tropes, So yeah, it's whatever, as far as the new movie, I'll probably check it out at some point,
Yeah, I think it's in 2022 sometime. So
yeah. So yeah,
it's in January. So basically the studio doesn't care much about it because
there is a lot of buzz in the horror community. They're Scream is another baby to them, and a lot of chatter about this. A lot of people stoked for this coming out. So
I don't see why, but I guess. I mean, like I said, it's just another remake, just another sequel. Just crank it out. Where the hell are Jason and Freddy at, man? What, like, are they still in legal hell or whatever?
Jason is in that lawsuit. Kind of got they did go back. The rights did go back to the original screenwriter, but they don't. But he didn't own adult Jason, so who knows?
Okay, I guess.
But that lawsuit did get finalized. It did get resolved, but we'll see what happens. He wrote that's the thing, is he wrote the original Friday the 13th, not the sequels. So in the original, it was the mom. The sequels, it was Jason.
Gotcha. So I don't know. All right. So moving on past that, like I said, we're just gonna briefly just talk about DC Fandome. Like I said, we both got a chance to watch all of it. Just gonna hit the high points. We're not gonna just do a whole full breakdown of it, but just hit the high points. One thing I did want to like that they started off with Black Adam. Do you want to just show you a quick clip of, for those that not that. Fuck that bullshit. This one. Like how Black Adam just grabbed the guy and just electrocuted him and turned him into barbecue. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal.
It was like, that's all they filmed so far. I was like, well, damn, show me when you film the rest of this shit. Then
Zack Snyder directed.
Right. And like, then immediately after they showed that badass shit, then they talked 5 more minutes about the Flash's new boots. I'm like, you don't follow that up with this shit. Give me something good, but then they got basically just named all the movies that got coming out. Like I said, we got Flashpoint and Ezra Miller's playing 2 Flashes. There's another Flash behind him, like an older Flash, and then there's not another Flash. That's Supergirl on the other side.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
so everybody can think it was
Iris or somebody.
No. It's Supergirl. Supergirl's supposed to be Clark Kent's and Lois Lane's daughter or some shit. I don't know, whatever. But anyway, that's what the movie. And Michael Keaton was doing the voiceover of it, and I think they was in the '89 Wayne Manor, from that movie, and the Batmobile and all stuff like that. So that's there. So all the movies, basically they announced all the movies that got coming out. They announced Flash coming out. They announced Aquaman coming out in December. Black Adam, we was just talking about, and the Batman. I don't have a thing of it. It doesn't really matter, but we all saw the Batman. We all saw it. Eli, I'm excited for it. I was already excited for it last year. Matt Reeves from Planet of the Apes is doing it. It's gonna be dope. I mean, I know people are still kind of up and down on Robert Pattinson. He's gonna kill it. I'm not even worried about that. Yeah, I know people saying he's a little too skinny, he's a little too emo, stuff like that. That's the Batman they're
He
going
looks
for.
like an awesome Nightwing. Yeah.
People like, I thought he was playing Batman Beyond. I didn't know he was playing like, no, he's playing Bruce Wayne. Is
Oh, I
that
saw that Batman trailer. I saw Robin Hood is in it, but where's Batman?
right? And so, like I said, if they're going for that year one
Wow,
feel,
Batmite's in this movie.
and like I said, yeah, I know we have the Fast and the Furious Batmobile in this one, but hey, I love it. If you want to be
That
Vin
was
Diesel,
cool.
yeah,
That fucking well, and plus, the Penguin. What's his face?
yeah, slow
Colin Farrell.
down, sweetheart. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
Colin Farrell in that. Yeah.
I want to see that. Like that. Like yeah, like we said before, the it's everything but Batman is what interests me.
I'm sold on Batman. I'm really sold on Batman because honestly, it feels like they're digging into they're really fleshing out Gotham in this. It almost feels like Arkham City to me in this one. It feels like they're fleshing out the world of Gotham with everything that's going on. They're hinting at that Catwoman might be Carmine Falcone's daughter, which spoiler alert was in the Long Halloween. If you've seen the movie, which is already in the comic like 2 decades ago, whenever that shit came out. So yeah, I'm sold on that. I don't know what else to say about it. I'm sold. So,
And then there's the Clown Gang, that's got chatter going on about, is the Joker going to be in this? Or is this the preload to the Joker?
I really hope the Joker is not in this. Don't put the Joker
insane
in
clown posse he beats up at the part.
Yeah,
or maybe
or maybe the movie is about he's already fought the Joker and he's these are his disciples or some shit. I don't want the Joker in this at all. You can do stuff without the Joker. Just Batman has been around for 80 years. You don't have to have the Joker in everything. That's just me.
Man. Kite Man, yo, we need Kite Man.
Give me Kite Man. Give me Condiment King. Anybody, the 10-eyed man. I don't give a fuck anybody.
Crazy Quilts, man.
Yeah,
Crazy
all of them. He's got so many crazy ass villains. Hell, Calendar Man was in Suicide Squad. Hell, break him out. There you go. So yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, can we move on to the next part of the podcast?
Wow, that's it.
Yeah,
Okay.
like I said, it was you. There's really nothing else in DC. Oh, at least Young Justice. Episode 1 and 2 is already out.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. So that's
yeah. That I thought you were gonna. Yeah. Well, we blazed through DC fandom.
Yeah. I mean, that's honestly, it's kind of like the stuff we already knew. They just kind of just showed us little clips of, but we already knew this stuff, So well, we did, but yeah. Yeah, let me say we move to the next part of the podcast. Like I said, this comic book bullies, where we talk about the comic books. And Eli, what's okay? I say can I start off?
By all means.
No, let's do this. Let's do this. Okay. I told you we're gonna flip forward.
You talking about Batman?
I was serious about Batman 89.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was serious. Okay, so I'm gonna show you. This is a real coin. We're gonna flip to see who reviews Batman 89 number 3. I don't know who's the winner or the loser in this one. I don't know, but we're gonna flip it. Okay, call it.
Heads.
How do you do it? Okay.
Oh shit.
That's
so
it.
I gotta do it.
That's you. You gotta do it.
Batman 89. I don't have an image for this, so
that's cool. I'll just throw up the cover in the background and we'll just go with it. Or I'll just throw up like the cover and just go.
So yeah, Batman 89 number 3. This is the long lost Batman sequel from the Tim Burton universe that was never produced. It has Billy D. Williams as Harvey Dent, and last issue he went in to go save the Robin. What was his name?
Drake Winston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was supposed to be played by Marlon Wayans.
Marlon Wayans, yeah.
He went in to go save him in a burning building. But then he got caught in there and then he got his face burned by acid. And then the first part of this book is all about him, how he saved Marlon or Winston or Drake, whatever.
Winston Wayne, yeah.
Yeah. How he saved him, and then he became a big hero of the city, and then he became mayor, and he lived there happily ever after that. But that was all in his head. It turns out none of that shit happened, and he's actually in a coma, and he's going crazy, and his psyche is fragmenting, and he's becoming Two-Face. His face is all fucked up because it got burned from the acid, and his sanity is splitting. His personalities are splitting. And he is becoming Clayface. Or I mean Two-Face.
One of them,
And
yeah.
so yeah, that's essentially what happens. Um, oh, and then some shit with Catwoman. Catwoman and Batman have a fight, and that's about all I remember.
Yeah.
I wasn't prepared for this.
It's cool. I mean, that's pretty much it. And I think the only thing happens other than that is that Winston kind of knows that something is going on with Bruce Wayne, but he doesn't really know what's going on with Bruce Wayne, but he kind of keeps it a secret, you know.
Yeah,
So it's just their little thing. So I guess they're slowly becoming Batman and Robin, you know.
yeah,
What else? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah.
yeah.
At the end, yeah, Harvey didn't pretty much decide whether I want to save the city or not. He flips the coin goes back. He like fuck the city. And the book end again. Oh yeah, and riots are breaking out because why are riots breaking out?
Well, there's that protest because remember they tried to shoot Batman, but then they shot the kid.
Oh yeah, okay. So they're still rioting over there. I thought it was like a
Yeah,
new riot breaking out. So it's an old riot that's still going on. So okay.
it's an old riot.
It's Gotham. It's always some crazy shit. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was. I mean, I'm digging the series, but this one was a little bit of a lull. This was like, okay, we're gonna take a breather, and that's
yeah.
usually around issue 3 anyway. So
Yeah, it's a
but,
6-part story, so they got to fill it in somewhere.
yeah,
So yeah.
so I'm still on
Yeah.
board.
Yeah, it'll
Whatever.
ramp up. So all right. So yeah, next book I'm gonna do is X-Men #1. I'm sorry, X-Men #4. X-Men #4. Okay. What is that? Oh no, that's something else. Okay. So basically, this is like a Halloween story. This is,
Oh,
and what I like to call it, since the X-Men, home base is a treehouse, I'm gonna call this X-Men Treehouse of Horror. They don't call it that. I'm like, Marvel, you dropping the ball. Give us this. But yeah, that's going on. So the book, basically you have the headless horseman above it.
oh
That's what
no
I'm saying.
shit.
Yeah. He's not in it.
That's not Pumpkinkin or what's his name? What's his name?
I forgot. I just know why I said
Jack-o'-lantern.
Jacqueline, whatever that guy's name was, I forgot his name, but yeah, no, not Jacqueline, anything like that. But anyway, what we got going on is that the X-Men have decorated the treehouse, in all kind of Halloween pumpkin stuff, and Cyclops and Jean Grey sleep in the bed, and they're having nightmares. Reason because they've been invaded by Nightmare, the Marvel villain Nightmare, who may or may not be the villain of the next Doctor Strange movie. I'm not really sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But the reason he's here is because normally anytime he tries to cross over to, our realm, Doctor Strange used to stop him. But spoiler alert, Doctor Strange dead. How he got killed, I don't know. It was a big 5-part miniseries that none of us read. So either way, he's dead. Nightmare can do whatever the hell he wants to do. So he's basically tormenting the X-Men. And the reason he's tormenting the X-Men because being born mutants, they just normally just have nightmares because their whole life are nightmares, and he's just sleeping in a bed between Cyclops and Jean Grey, like having a threesome or something, and he's basically just having nightmares about Cyclops just Cyclops was wrong because he having nightmares that if he does anything wrong, then mutant kind falls with him. Meanwhile, Jean Grey is tortured because she's still haunted by the Dark Phoenix when she killed all those people in that, sun or whatever. And that's what happened. And then she's tormented by then he visits Laura. Laura's being tormented because you remember that whole thing with the vault where she got trapped in there for like hundreds of years and she got free. She doesn't remember anything. She knows some big stuff went down in there, but she's scared to ask it. But because she knows it, because she don't want to know the answer. And she might know that Sync has something to do with it, but she don't want to. And he's just like, oh yeah, so you're having all these hundreds of years and you don't really know who you are, and you have these lost gaps. So I guess you really are Wolverine. While all is going on, Jean Grey's like, all right, stop all that. And she's like, how do you see me? You're like, I'm a omega level telepath. I can see you. You're just a puny ass demon. You're nothing. Now being nice, get the hell out of here. And then let me skip to the end. Yeah. She kicks Nightmare out of the tree hawk. That's when Nightmare does he have a head? His head is gone. Oh, he doesn't have a head. Okay, so we do get a headless horseman. So Nightmare gets on a horse, takes off his own head, rides through the night. I'm Nightmare. You can't stop me. And he goes terrorizing New York and shit like that. And then right when that happened, that's when Jean Grey, like, look, I told you, get the hell out of here. I'm being nice with you right now, but if you really piss me off, I will end you. And she like turns a whole bunch of them and shit like that. And then she slaps the horse and he leaves. And that's pretty much it. Yeah. And then the X-Men wake up and she's just like, don't worry, as long as I'm here, you won't have nightmares. And what the next supervillain, the next issue goes to Mars. The end. So yeah, this book was I feel like it was bait and switch. I felt like we were gonna because they even go to Sleepy Hollow, New York in the story. So I thought it was gonna be like he shows up and Ichabod Crane, that was the guy's name.
I've been
He was,
there.
you've been to Sleepy Hollow? Nice.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it was gonna be something like that, but nothing like that. It was just a nightmare story. And he wasn't even that scary. Jean Grey was just slapping around the whole time. I thought it was gonna be like some nightmare type shit, scary imagery type shit.
You thought you were gonna get the willies?
Yeah. Ooh, I don't know if I want to talk about this story. It was none of that. It was just Jean Grey just slapping him around, treating him like shit. He just acting like a little, nuisance. And that was pretty much it. I thought he was gonna be like Marvel's Freddy Krueger. I thought that's what we were about to get. But they didn't give us that. They oversold it for me. And I didn't even realize he was headless till I just read it right then. So yeah. So honestly, Eli, I don't know if I'm gonna keep up with these X-Men books. I thought they were gonna get better, but they just feel like Avengers books with mutants, and I don't even read the Avengers anymore. So it's just like that. I don't know. They struggle without Hickman. That's all I'm saying. But yeah.
And that's the way it is.
That's the way it is. So yeah, so what you got?
Whew. Well, I suppose I'll do Immortal Hulk number 50.
Oh, that's the big one right there. The last issue.
Yeah. The last issue. I really should have took notes because this is big. This is a very girthy issue. Like 100 pages. It's like a graphic novel. More bang for your buck. It was like $10, but still, it was
100 pages, really?
Yeah, it was at least 100, like something like that, 89 or something like that. It was big. It was like a graphic novel, basically.
Shit. Okay.
A lot to unpack and shit. Like you could do a podcast just on this thing. But I'll try to keep it brief. So basically what we have, the Hulks go down to hell, the place below all, to face the leader who has become the one below all. And that's essentially what happens. We have a little introduction where back in the early 1900s, where it suggests that the Sterns and the Banners were involved somehow in some scientific, experiments. They're experimenting with radiation, and they're the ones who discovered the gamma radiation. Really breaks down like there's the alpha radiation, and then the beta, and then there's gamma. There's different. I'm not a nuclear physicist. I don't understand it, but I'm just saying that they were involved, and that this fight between the leader and the Hulk has been brewing through the ages. A lot of philosophical themes going on. One guy's a man of science, another guy's a man of religion. So, there's those debates going on. But essentially, we have, Savage Hulk and Joe Fixit and McGee walking through Green Hell, about to go face the leader who has taken over Hell. And he's this, I don't know how, here, I'll try to show this here. You see that? He has taken over Hell, and he is this big, huge monolithic structure, and you can see the green doors. He's controlling the green doors. There's the, can you see it? There's the one below all in the sky,
Thanks. Okay.
And so they basically infiltrate the leader, and they see people from their past. They see what was her name? She's from the old comics. Jarella.
Jarella? Yeah, the alien chick back. Yeah,
way back in the day. Yeah, and then they meet one of the mobster from Mr. Fix-It's days in Vegas.
Caesar or whatever.
Yeah, one of those guys. So yeah, they're meeting like people from their past, but they essentially they tear down. They They go inside and they tear down the leader, and then they face the one below all, who that in turns. I was getting really a lot more shit happens. I'm just kind of keeping it brief. But essentially, the one above all shows up, and the Hulk.
Wait, the one above all?
Yeah, shows
Like
up.
God?
Yeah, comes down there and's like, and because they tore down the leader who was controlling hell, they tore him down, and then the one above all comes down, and Joe Fixit's like, basically the Hulks are like, why did this happen to me?
Right.
Why am I evil? Why am I like this? Why does rage exist? Why does evil exist? You know, deep question for the ages.
Right.
You know,
The answer is 42.
yeah. And the first thing he says is because you're my child. And Joe Fix is like, what? Fuck off. What the fuck you talking? You know, he's like, what the fuck you talking? No, why? Basically, why is there evil? You know, and he basically says it because it's part of nature. Essentially, it's because it's a part of nature. There's positive and negative forces in the universe, and they're necessary to create and destroy. It all connected, and all his personalities that he has are all, you know, a system that are supposed to work in some sort of unison, but the Hulk is an agent of chaos, and chaos is necessary. It's some really deep shit that like I said, we really need more time to get into it. But basically, the Hulk is.
Not Darkseid is, Hulk is.
Hulk is, because he's you know, he's a necessary darkness. He's a necessary chaotic force.
A force of nature.
A force of nature. And that's essentially what they go. It's very deep, but it really puts the whole, you know, it does give this series a bit of closure, because this has been one of the best runs, I think, one of the best comic runs I think I've ever read. Because it takes the Hulk back to his monster movie horror roots, and it's gone through like body horror and monster movies and cosmic horror, and you know, there was some political commentary thrown in there, and you know, but it really went into the psychology and his mental health and his trauma and why you know, and I think that's what Hulk was wanting to find out, like, why was he chosen to suffer the way he did to become this monster of rage? And he wanted that answer, and basically the answer, one above all gave him the answer, but he didn't like it. He's like, oh, fuck you then. And he's like, you know, because you're necessary, because you're supposed to. He's like, well,
because I told you to.
You know, so yeah, I mean, I'm just skimming the surface of what was going on in this. But yeah, it is a big, huge, epic finale for this run, this comic book run. You know, this has been a great run. It really brought back the Hulk. As a fan of the Hulk as a kid, it really brought back that nostalgia, as well as updated the character for a modern time, and tackled issues that are relevant as far as mental health and psychology and, you know, therapy and all that. And yeah, art was cool. Of course, we all know what's going on with Joe Bennett, so that was in the back of my mind reading this. But yes, this has Joe Bennett's art in it. You know, regardless of what he's done, he did a good job. But I'm just saying, that's all I'm saying. He did a good job.
Okay. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna bring up Joe Bennett for a second, because the thing is, Eli, if Al Ewing had these issues with him, he could have said something earlier, but he didn't want to, because he wanted to finish the book. That's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm kind of glad Al Ewing did what he did. I'm kind of glad he didn't say anything about Joe Bennett until the book was done, and not have him kicked off like 20 issues ago. Because the thing was that the stuff Joe Bennett was doing, I saw it. And one of those books that I never even read the book, but one of those books that you review, you showed a picture of, I saw it back. I'm like, is that what I think I saw? No way Marvel is dumb enough to let this stuff happen again. And they let it happen again. But we got a finished product. When it's all said and done, nobody's gonna remember what Joe Bennett did, but they remember this book.
Yeah.
But if you'd have kicked him off the book, that would have, you know, put a damp on everything.
Yeah.
So
because now Donny Cates is taking over. Donny Cates is doing the Hulk now.
Yeah. So all that philosophical shit you just talked about, out the window.
Yeah, he's gonna go.
All
he's,
it's gonna
yeah.
do. How does it wrap? How does
Yeah.
it go into null?
Since the
and shit?
beginning of time, before null, there was
Right.
there was the green door.
Right. That's all, because that's all he
You
cares
know,
about. He wants to be
yeah,
Jim Starlin so bad, you know.
yeah, the
But
cosmic Hulk and
right.
yeah,
But
the
I do.
Hulk
He'll
ride,
be
Ghost Hulk Rider. And shit.
yeah, Herald of Galactus. Yeah, we get it, Donny Case. We get it, you know. But
Yeah.
I am excited for the art, because the artist gonna be the same guy that did the artwork on Invincible. So hey, can't wait for that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean this issue this series comes to a close, but and it's been great. Like I said, it's been great. And this issue was it was a fitting ending. You know, it kind of tied up everything philosophically, thematically, and yeah.
and I like it when books don't overstay their welcome. You know,
Yeah.
you got in, you told the story you want to get, and you get out. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, this was a more somber because I was thinking, oh, it's going to be a big giant fight and smashy smash because it's the Hulk. But no, this was a more philosophical, cerebral climax. You know.
And that's what people don't get about the Hulk. Like with the Hulk's best stories, that's how they are. He's a very cerebral, get inside your mind type of character. And the whole thing is, theme about duality. So yeah, we want smashy smash, we want all that stuff, but those are more interesting Hulk stories
And it
about
goes in,
the
it
nature
goes,
of man.
yeah, and it goes into the trauma that he's caused because there's another. Again, I didn't go into everything that was in this book, but there's a scene where it's a flashback of McGee when she was a kid, when the Hulk destroyed her town, and how traumatized she was like a little kid, and she's standing in with her dad in the ruins of her house, and she's like freaked out, she's terrified, and her dad's like, it's gonna be okay, but that like traumatized her for life, so you don't really ever see that. I never seen that ever, like the aftermath of the Hulk's damage.
Right.
We love the smashy smash shit, but we never dealt with the consequences. And I thought that was just brilliant, So yeah. Great series, great book. So yeah.
Cool.
5 out of 5. Fuck it. One more 5 out of 5 from Immortal Hulk.
Oh, okay, get Valiant. Okay. All right. So yeah, so next one I'm gonna do is you're gonna jump into it, keep the train rolling, stick with Marvel. We're gonna talk about Shang-Chi, whatever. Don't matter. You know what I meant. And yeah, we're just gonna just talk about this Shang-Chi versus the Marvel Universe. And yes, in this book, he fights Iron Man. And it's not one of those misunderstanding things. No, he fights him. They fight in this book. So you get your money's worth in this one. So let's just talk about it, see what's going on. Boom. And you see Shang-Chi on the cover wearing the Iron Man armor. Does it happen? Does it not happen? Let's talk about it. Yeah, going into it. So the base of how the book starts off is that he's dealing with the Red Dot Society or something like that. I forgot what these guys' name is. Anyway, the black market guys, and they're selling stuff from the black market. The guy's name is Mr. Red Dot, and he's selling an Iron Man suitcase. Of course, if you've seen the movie, Iron Man has a suit in there. So he don't know how he got it, where it came from, and he's thinking he's there, to sell it to Shang-Chi because he used to do business with his father. He's like, I'm not my father. And matter of fact, you're gonna leave that here with me, and you're gonna stay here till I call the police. He's like, oh no, that's not gonna happen. And matter of fact, he tells his guys to go ahead and kill him. So they take off their gloves and they transform into like guns and shit and start shooting at him and shit like that. But then when they turn around, they're like, where'd he go? Turns out he's behind them, punches them in the face and shit. He does the move. That's the move for the movie. Okay, we got synergy, So Mr. Red Dot finds out why he calls himself Mr. Red Dot, because he has a cybernetic eye. You're like, oh, so that's why they call you the master of kung fu. And then he got a red dot right on his head, shoots him right in the face. The end. Next book. But until he wakes up,
Leroy
catching bullets with his teeth. And not only does he do that, Shang-Chi spits the bullet at him and then blows out his eye.
Yeah.
So everybody's down. He was like, next time you got to do a better security job of checking people for weapons. Now, can you please disarm our guest? You're like, haha, funny, and chopped off his arm. So then take him to the interrogation room. So while they're doing it, take to the interrogation room, and we're just gonna skip ahead. Shang-Chi is talking to his mom, and the Iron Man suit wakes up and starts attacking him and shit like that. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead with that. We didn't check out the last book because that was the book that we took a week off. but he rescued his mom from the Phantom Zone, negative zone, one of those shits. Anyway, he rescued her, and basically saying, I'm really from another dimension. I meant to tell you that before they can finish the talk. That's when they get a visitor, because he looks at the window and something is headed right for it, and he kicks his mom out the way. Boom, Iron Man is there, and he just like, hey, Shang-Chi, I ain't seen you in a while. What you been up to? Running your father's criminal empire, buying weapons off the black market that belong to me. He like, Tony, don't do this. And then they start fighting. He was like, you should have called before you did that. So while they start fighting, Sister Dagger, they fight the Iron Man suit. They pretty much beat the shit out of it. But anyway, Shang-Chi runs off. He was like, yeah, you better run, Iron Fist. And Shang-Chi knows I can't beat Iron Man. I'm good. I'm not that good. He like, unless I'm in my element. So that's when he started looking at all the weapons he got. He started throwing ninja stars at him. He was like, what the hell you doing? He was like, yeah, I got an adamantium plated 3-section staff. Let's go. So he's ready. They ready to fight. So they go at it. So he smashes them.
Let's try my Wu-Tang style.
Smashes Tony in the head. Yeah, smashes them and shit like that. He's like, okay.
Special technique of shadow box.
Definitely should have had like special techniques in the iron lung, iron finger, shit like that. Y'all, all this shit like that. So he blocks it. He was like, yeah, you good, man. Like, we get it. Hand to hand, nobody can beat you in the Marvel universe. This isn't hand to hand. You brought a knife to a gunfight. And so he smacks him in his head, shit like that. And that's when Shang-Chi grabs his arm with one of the adamantium hooks, rip off his glove, takes the glove, and now he's got an Iron Man glove. He was like, okay, now we got hand to hand. Now we even. And he's like, no, before
bastard, I didn't know who you were.
Your kung fu is strong. So he was like, I didn't see you. You were fast. I didn't see you get the glove off my hand that fast. He was like, look, I'm not my father. We didn't do that shit. We didn't mean to steal. We didn't mean to steal your shit. We came to buy it from him. And that's when it was like, we were gonna explain it, but you crashed the window before we could find it out. So anyway, I can't get the suit. And when they look at the seat, Sister Dagger is wearing the Iron Man helmet. We're like, can we keep the helmet? Because they fucked that suit up, He was like, look, I need the helmet, but anyway, y'all keep anything else, just give me the helmet. So, and then they shake hands, and that's all. But he actually goes to a helicarrier. Oh, and the Red Dot gang was working for him the whole time. He gave them the suit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's the whole thing about that. So he goes to the Fantastic Four building, and who's waiting for him? All the people that Shang-Chi met earlier, Captain America, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, stuff like that. So like, what you think? And it was like, yeah, he straight up lied in my face. He's like, you lied in his face? He's like, that's different, because basically what it is, the Cosmic Cube. Well, and the thing is that Shang-Chi don't know that.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, somebody else stole the Cosmic Cube. But
the boy, his brother or whatever, or
his brother. Yeah, his brother's girlfriend stole the Cosmic Cube, but they don't know that. They just know the organization has it.
Yeah,
So they basically, it's in Japan. When you go to Japan to get the Cosmic Cube back, because that's where his criminal organization goes to it. But wait, there's more. So all the way back in China, there's this dude riding some mythical Pokemon goat, some shit like that, basically trying to get revenge, on Shang, Fu Manchu, whatever you want to call his name, basically saying that they wronged us and we got revenge on him and the new head of the place, his son Shang-Chi. And it turns out his sister, Shang-Chi's sister, is helping them. You got the red dots, you got her sister staff,
you got those brown Yetis.
Yeah, the brown Yetis. Oh yeah, because they did fight them. So all the people they fought earlier are here right now, including his sister, and about to take out Shang-Chi, the master of Kung Fu. Dun, dun, dun. So the plot thickens. So that's what. So that's going on right now. Fun story, fast action. It moves. It's not trying to contemplate the duality of man in this. It's just Kung Fu action in this one. I'm fine.
And that's all we want.
That's all we want. I know I trashed Michael Myers for that. Well, could you give me a more deeper story, Shang-Chi? No, I just want to see Iron Man and Shang-Chi fight each other, man. Just give me that shit, But yeah, it gave it to me. 4 out of 5. I wish I could have reviewed last issue, because that last issue when they fought the Fantastic Four was awesome. But hey, you do what you can do. So what you got next?
I guess I'll get this out the way. Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters number 5. This is the last issue.
You sound so excited.
Finally, after what, 6 months? How long has it been going on? A year?
It's been a while. Yeah.
A year and 82 issues later. So yeah, this is the story. The big, huge Star Wars tie-in, the Star Wars event of the year, War of the Bounty Hunters, where they are all trying to find Han Solo frozen in carbonite. So this takes place between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, where Boba Fett got Han Solo in carbonite. He was taking him back to Jabba, but then he got him stolen. Some bounty hunter stole him, and then it was like a fight to find him and get him back. And it went through all these twists and turns. Luke got involved. I don't know why. Darth Vader got him. At one point, Darth Vader wanted him back. I don't know why. When he's the reason he gave Han Solo,
and didn't care about him. He was like, whatever.
All of a sudden, Darth Vader wanted him back. We got Leia and Lando and Chewie looking for him. But then also all the criminals like Valance, Bosk, Dengar. They all 4LOM and Zukas. They all got involved too. And yeah, so this is the final issue. The Imperials have Darth Vader has him. He's bringing him back onto the the Executor. I always got that confused. It wasn't until years later, Darth Vader Star Destroyer, the big giant one that he's on, it's called the Executor, not the Executor. I thought for all my life I was calling it the Executor, as in an execution, as in one who executes.
Right.
That's an executioner.
The Executor. So okay. Yeah.
It's an Executor. So something that I learned. And there's a bit like the Hutts come here. They got a big space fleet, and they try to basically fight the Imperials. And you got a space battle with TIE fighters versus the Hutts. And then Valance and Boba Fett sneak onto the ship. And Boba Fett betrays Valance again. We knew that was coming. And Han, Leia, and Chewie, they find Han Solo's frozen carbonite thing, but then Boba Fett shows up. But then during the space battle, the room gets hit and a big hole in the wall and goes out to space, and Han Solo's gets sucked out into space.
Oh damn!
So then Boba Fett, he's got a backpack, he's got his jetpack, so he flies out and grabs it, flies back to his ship and takes off. Goes back to Jabba's palace and is like, "What's up, fucking Jabba? You put a bounty on me, all this shit. So I should kill you." But Boba Fett's like, "No, this was all part of my plan," because he had set up, a meeting with Palpatine. So Palpatine was in league with the Hutts, and the Hutts.
Why?
Because he's doing grimy gangster shit around, corrupt shit, using the criminal gangster world to do.
That kind of goes, because the thing is, like, the Palpatine doesn't have any control over the Hutts because they're outside of their jurisdiction. So I don't, whatever.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
Crime. I think there's a corruption theme going on. Anyways, but Jabba set all those guys up for Vader to kill. So Vader comes in and he kills all those Hutts. There was the Hutt Council, and Vader kills them all. And now Jabba controls everything. So it was all a big setup. And he tells Boba Fett, "Yeah, that was all a big ruse, man, to take over the whole criminal empire. And now you can work for me, and I got plenty of work for you. So
just one Hutt.
So just hold out here. There's a movie called Return of the Jedi coming out soon, and you're going to be in it." And that's kind of where it ends, Yeah, there was a lot of unnecessary bullshit that I didn't care about during this whole run. We didn't need Luke. We didn't need Vader. We didn't need Han or Lando or any of that shit. I just thought this was going to be about the gangsters and the bounty hunters. So, right. But it just wandered and meandered all through all this bullshit. So, yeah, it's over now. Boba Fett we all knew Boba Fett was going to get him back, because that's what happens in Star Wars canon. It's just took a long roundabout way to get us here. And art was cool. 3 out of 5. Fuck it. It's done. It's done now.
Cool. All right. So I guess
but Crimson Dawn is back. So this is now the next in the series is Crimson Reign. So there's Kira from Crimson Dawn. She was in the Solo movie. She's head of the Crimson Dawn crime family, and she is back. And yeah, so that's the next event coming or whatever.
Damn. Now, see, if we had another Solo movie, all that could have been explained. But yeah,
I'm pretty sure this is the Solo movie.
Yeah, they robbed us of that. But yeah. All right, so I guess it may be my last book. I don't know. I think let's call it my last book. Okay. So next book I'm going to do is Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 76. Yeah, I'm gonna do a Spider-Man book. Yeah. Nick Spencer's gone. He's no longer writing this book, so he's out of there. But the new guy, Zeb Wells is writing this book now, and this is a new status quo. There's a new status quo.
Isn't he writing? He's writing the Hellions, isn't he?
Is he? I think so. I don't know. Like he's been around. He's a Marvel guy. He's always writing something, you know. So this is a new status quo for Spider-Man. If you notice, Spider-Man is on the cover.
Didn't renumber it. It's still
it's still going. It's still
just
right.
Cute, just cute, Marvel.
So, but the thing is, he's in a hospital bed, you know, with Mary Jane right next to him. This is seriously like. I know everybody doesn't care about, you know, death or anything like that. No, but this one matters. This is the one that matters. You know, everybody's making jokes, but this matters. So let's go to it. So turns out what happened is that Ben Reilly is back. And Aunt May gets a phone call basically saying, "This is Peter. I'm at the hospital. Come see me." And he hangs up. But then when she hangs up the phone, she like, "That wasn't Peter. I don't know who that was, but it was Peter." And she grabs a coat and leaves out the house. Why she still got a house phone? Oh yeah, she's like 100 years old. That's why she got a house phone. Never mind. Anyway, hangs up,
dial and shit.
Right on the phone. Dan, you know, all that shit like that. Anyway, get us out of here. So Ben Reilly was the one that made the phone call. You know, and basically just saying, "Hey, your brother's gonna be okay. He had some radiation poison. I don't know what he got into, but this is some bad stuff he's in. Matter of fact, what the hell were y'all doing? Are you on that stuff too? Y'all on that shit?" You know, he doesn't know the doctor don't know what's going on. So Mary Jane shows up and Ben Reilly like ducks out the back. He's like, "Uh-oh, I'm out." And Mary Jane shows up. She was like, "Don't worry, Peter, we got Peter stabilized. His brother dropped him off." She's like, "His brother? He ain't got no brother." And then looked up and his cell phone was still there. He took off. But it doesn't matter because Peter is convulsing. You know, he's having a seizure and his spider senses keep going off because it turns out that his body is sensing himself as the enemy. And that's why his spider sense won't stop ringing in his head, you know. Meanwhile, at the Beyond Tower, because so let me tell you what's going on with the Beyond Tower. So the Beyond Corporation bought the Spider-Man IP, you know, so they control the Spider-Man, you know, franchise and IP and stuff like that. And they basically named Ben Reilly as their corporate Spider-Man. And they also work with the Daughters of the Dragon, you know, Misty Knight and Colleen Wing and all stuff like that. You know, basically telling them you need to do this. You got a corporate meeting. You got to meet the UFO. And the reason Peter is in the hospital because they fought the UFOs. But he was prepared. Ben Reilly was prepared for the UFOs. But Spider-Man can't fight the UFOs. UFOs, you know, they fight the Hulk. So that's a little bit about his pay grade. So that's why he's in the hospital because he got fucked up. Anyway, Peter. Oh yeah, so Mary Jane is there, and Peter's just out. Doesn't know what the hell's going on. And Aunt May's like, "What happened to Peter?" And Peter's talking. He was like, "The villains, the UFOs attacked the Empire State Building." And that's when Mary Jane cut him off. Oh, he was going to class to meet Professor Connors, you know, because she still pretends like she doesn't know, you know. Anyway, moving on. Back to Ben Reilly. Ben Reilly has a conversation because apparently Colleen Wing and Misty Knight are basically giving him all his stuff to fight the UFOs. And basically saying, "Look, before I use UFOs, I gotta go. I gotta handle something." And he leaves. He just takes off. He gotta go meet Spider. He gotta go meet Peter. So he goes meets Peter and has a conversation with her. And basically, "Look, I'm gonna be Spider-Man again, but I came here for one thing. I want to ask your blessing to be Spider-Man this time. I want to just do it just out. I want to ask you, can I be Spider-Man?" And Peter's like, "Look, I won't be in here long, but while I'm here, you can be Spider-Man. But when I get out of this hospital, We're gonna have a conversation about this whole thing about this whole Spider-Man. Who is Spider-Man? Who isn't Spider-Man? But until then, I just want you to be one thing: be amazing. Amazing. Yeah. And so Ben leaves, and say, as soon as Ben leaves, Peter asks, "Is he out? Is he gone? He's gone. He can't hear me, right? Okay, cool. Because my body's locking up. I can't feel anything in my body." And he goes into a seizure. You know,
Damn.
yeah. So he's locked up. He can't. They losing him. But Ben doesn't know that. Ben leaves. He thinking he's Spider-Man. I got Peter's blessing. I'm good. All stuff like that. His body locks up. He goes into seizure so bad he goes to a coma. He's out of there. He checks out. So, yeah.
Damn.
Now it's just up to the Ben Riley. You see the UFOs, and Ben Riley's got all these gadgets from Misty Knight and also like that. He takes them out like it's nothing, and they were like, "Who are you?" He's like, "I'm Spider-Man," or the Amazing Spider-Man. Call me Spider-Man, or whatever. Anyway, the end. So that's the new status quo. Ben Riley, Spider-Man. Peter Parker's fucked up,
All right.
and he'll never be back again. So yeah, that's all I got. I was gonna do hardware, but it was whatever. But yeah.
Okay. Well, you just did.
I guess so.
I guess I'll bump this Eternals out real quick.
Okay.
So Eternals
forever.
Eternals Forever one shot. And I'm gonna keep it real. I never read an Eternals comic ever.
Like ever?
Ever.
Wow. Okay.
Never. I never gave a shit. Never gave a shit about this. About the Eternals, or the New Gods or any of that, these, white dudes in the 60s coming up with, new age creationism through superheroes and all that hippy dippy baloney. I didn't give a shit about any of that.
Jack Kirby was creating his own religion. Come on, man.
It's the age of Aquarius. So I never read an Eternals comic, and with the movie come out, I was like, you know what? I never gave a shit about these guys. Let me read a comic book to see if I will give a shit. Here's a one shot. I'm like, fuck it. The Eternals Forever one shot. And after reading it, I still don't give a shit. But I guess what goes on in this book is this is a guy named Icarus, spelled differently. He's a Captain Marvel Superman dude, and he flies.
I always thought it was He-Man, but yeah, that's
sure, whatever. He's flying. He-Man who can fly. He goes to some underground world. Is this underwater? Called the Deviants or whatever.
Yeah, that's their bad guys. Yeah.
Yeah, and this guy, Lord somebody, Lord Guar or Guer or Gore or something. They capture him and they're trying to do experiments on him to do some shit. But then he escapes and then he flies and he sees some little imp called Sprite or something.
That's another Eternal. Yeah.
And then some chick. Oh no, he was disguising himself as some chick that he likes, but then it turns out it was the Sprite guy. And then Icarus meets some guy named Gilgamesh.
Yeah. Wait, he's back? Okay. Iron Man killed him like in the 90s, but yeah.
Well, he's there. Yeah. So Gilgamesh is there. And then they fly to Olympia or Valhalla or heaven or wherever.
Yeah, it's Olympia.
Whatever.
Yeah, Olympia. It's
wherever,
It's in Greece.
Where
it's
the
not
gods
in Greece,
live. Yeah, where the gods dwell.
Yeah.
And while they're there, the Deviants show up in a bunch of ships and start fighting, and then there's a battle, and then they summon this big giant head thing, and he goes, "Show me what you got."
Unimind?
Whatever, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, okay.
It's the ritual complete energies, the singular entity. I don't know what it is. Does it name what this thing is?
Yeah, it's a Unimind. They combine, they collect.
Yeah, whatever this thing, this big yellow thing. Show me what you've got. That's a reference to Rick and Morty.
I never watched Rick and Morty, but yeah, that's Unimind. Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they destroy all the deviants, and they're like, okay, cool, let's have a brew. And then back down and underwater, the deviants, the Lord Gore or whatever his name is, like, those pesky kids, I'll get them. And then that's it.
That's it. So it was every Eternal story ever, basically. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, it was just like, gods fighting each other. Greek mythology Roman mythology, whatever mythology, in a comic book form. Um, it's whatever. But I will say the art. There was a bunch of panels that like gave the shout out that looked like old Kirby art,
Mhm.
Kirby-esque panels, and I thought that was cool. That sort of, that the comic did have sort of this, Silver Age Kirby feel to it. So that was kind of cool. But other than that, it's whatever.
I mean, the thing about the Eternals is that after Kirby, nobody knows what to do with them. Hell, Kirby didn't even know what to do with them. He
Yeah.
only wrote them because he got fired from DC because he couldn't finish New Gods. That was it. So they're like not New Gods. That's all they are.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So whatever. So cool. Yeah. 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 5. I don't care.
fuck it. Yeah. I mean, it's every Eternal story ever. So if you read one, you read them all. Now, I
Yeah.
will say this. Out of all the Eternal stories I read, I will recommend the 7-issue Neil Gaiman series. It was good.
Neil
It's
Gaiman, huh? Yeah, that
it's
sounds
not
like
it.
some shit that he'd read.
Yeah, like don't think you're gonna read this and get transformative and think differently about life as we know it. No, it's not. It's not the Bible. It's just a comic.
It's not
But it was
American gods or Norse mythology
nothing
or
like that. You're like, you know what? I never thought about life that way. This story is not gonna do that. It's just a comic.
Sandman and all that
Not gonna
shit
make
that he
you
writes. Yeah.
rethink your life. What have I been doing this whole time? Thank you, Neil Gaiman. No, it's not that.
Yeah.
But
What if
it's a
what if what if happiness and sadness were characters?
right.
And
So
one
it's
was a
not.
clown and one was a goth chick and they like fought stuff. I'm pissing off a level up to you.
Oh, man. So
Trigger
yeah.
warning.
So yeah, that's what I think about that. But if you're gonna read one Eternal story, I'd read that because the Kirby stuff is hard to get into. It's big in scope, but it's because he's not a good writer, basically. That's all it is. Like story wise, he's a big picture guy, but script writing, dialogue, not his thing. Because that's why that Kirby stuff's kind of hard to get into. But yeah, Neil Gaiman, 7 issues, read it. Pretty much what the movie's gonna be based off anyway. The Neil Gaiman stuff. I bet you they didn't read Kirby stuff.
I bet, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
So
they do.
yeah. So that's all I got. I was gonna do hardware, but I'm not gonna deal with it.
Well, I'll do one more and bring it on home. For me,
Okay.
anyways.
Cool.
I'll do Army of Darkness, 1979, number 2.
Cool. Okay, what do we got here? Boom. Boom. Okay.
So this Dynamite, they own the Evil Dead license. Ash, Army of Darkness. Is it Army of Darkness? I don't wonder. Yeah, I think they have to do Army of Darkness because there's legal battles over Evil Dead and Army of Darkness. Army of
Weird.
Darkness is
Okay.
owned by Universal, so that's why they couldn't call the movie Evil Dead. Because
Mhm.
Evil Dead is another like Sam Raimi's owns the rights to that. So that's why Army of Darkness is its own thing, and then Evil Dead is another thing, but it's still the same shit. So, anyways, this is 1979, Army of Darkness, written by Rodney Barnes, who's doing Philadelphia. And this has Ash getting sucked back into 1979 Bronx, New York, where a bunch of street gangs. This is basically the Warriors with Evil Dead. So
Nice,
a bunch
okay.
of street gangs are fighting each other, just like in the Warriors. And one gang called the Warlocks get a hold of the Necronomicon, and they start raising deadites and using the magic to, basically take over their turf, their little piece of turf. Can you dig? There's actually a scene where somebody says, "Can you dig it?" in here. So yeah, it's very campy, stupid fun with Ash. Ash, of course, joins another gang called the Undeads or the Half Deads or whatever, because they get attacked by deadites. Ash shows up, saves them all, shoots all the deadites, and then say, "Hey, you should join our gang because the Warlocks are taking over the city." And so basically, Ash joins this gang, and they're gonna go take out the other gang. And that's basically what's happening. It's just campy, stupid fun with Ash and Evil Dead shit. Here's the scene here. We have little tiny cops attacking Ash.
Okay.
And Ash, uses his chainsaw and his boomstick and blasts them all and fucks them all up. So again, it's just campy, stupid fun. I'm digging it. 3 out of 5. So this is issue 2, and it's fun. You know, I'm an Evil Dead fan, so yeah, I get into this shit. So.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's
All
it.
right.
I'm booked out.
All right. Man, Rodney Barnes just did the new James Bond book also. I was gonna review it, but I had all this other shit I would review. It got put to the wayside. So yeah. So
Oh, so
yeah,
he's
like I said, if you
branched
listen
out.
this long, yeah. So you listen this long, just like, share, subscribe. Eli, next week, all on you.
What's next week?
You know what's next week. Dune.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah, I guess I could
Damn.
do that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So get your pen
I'll
and
be
pad. Take
explaining all the shit no one understands and shit.
right in chapter 34. This break all this shit down. Break down the lore and all stuff like that. So yeah, that's what we're gonna deal with next week. So tune in for that. And yeah, if you listen to this long, different, like, share, subscribe. Until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
We'll talk to you guys next week. Same bullet time, same bullet channel.